Now, so at the start of this video, you're going to see just a little bit of a fishing adventure. Not an adventure. I've been inspired by a particular channel who does creek fishing in the United States, in the South. And so, because I've never really done that much exploring up and around the creeks in my area, and there's quite a few. Now, so I took some fishing gear with me, and on the way back from the range, I stopped by one of the local creeks and had a bit of a fish, as you'll see. Yeah, not very successful at all. Saw some weird stuff too. Yeah, but it's yeah. I'm gonna probably do a little bit more on the fishing side of things, because just guns gets boring. Alright, that's why I've sort of mixed it up with food and knives, and yeah, there's a fair bit. There's a heap of camping equipment that I've got to do, some videos about, because yeah, I do like I'm a real gear guy, like most guys. So that was a little bit of a fishing adventure. And the old Model 25 is going fine. It's functioned excellent, like really well. Smooth, and the bolt hasn't pulled out yet since the gunsmith pulled it out. Since he pulled it out, it's telling me how he fixed it. The problem of it pulling out. Yeah, so it hasn't pulled out at all since. So good on you, John Cook, excellent gunsmith. Alright, so I'm going to sign off. Well, no, you're going to see the rest of the video after the fishing video, so see you later. Okay, here we are. There's a walking bridge. That's a road bridge over the top. And a bit of a look around. As you can see, there's a lot of foot traffic. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean this is a pretty good spot to fish, or does that mean it's just really easy to get here? Well, we're about to find out, because I'm going to have a bit of a cast, so I'll get back to you. Okay, what's going on with the light? Oh, yeah. That's my glasses. Alright, so guess what we found out? That spot has a lot of foot traffic because it's easy access. Not a thing there. Now, I'll just come down a bit further, because there are some well beaten paths. So, and I've never fished here before, so I assume the people that know where they're going have beaten these paths. Now, here we go. There's this little sort of knapsack thingy in the water. We'll just have a look inside it, just out of interest. Well, upon investigation, looks like someone's changed their clothes. Yeah, might just give it to one of the charities, because they don't look like they're a hobo's clothes. They look alright. So we'll carry on trying to fish. Okay. We've got a real hobo camp happening here. That's only, within. So I don't know what's going on, whether this has been abandoned or they're hiding, or God knows where they are, because there's a caravan park just around the corner here. Yeah, interesting. Keep going further. Well, there are fish interested in my lure, but they are so small. They're actually, most of them are smaller than the lure. Yeah. I hope you can see this. Very, very small. This creek, it's really beautiful. Pretty dead, but it's really beautiful. Now, under that bridge, I actually saw there was like, I don't know where they were, mullet. They look like mullet, same shape as mullet, and this bright yellow moray eel, like the colour of which I'd never seen before, not in an eel. Yeah, so when I came down and checked it out and saw them, I thought, oh beauty, I'll go back and get my camera. And I was up there and I thought, well, while I'm getting my camera, I'll get my fishing gear as well. So yeah, they weren't there when I came back. But what I want to talk about is this creek. This creek, not that long ago, we had one of the biggest rain events ever, and there's a place not far from me called Paluma, up in the hills, up in the mountains, what we call mountains anyway, that set a world record in rainfall. It was that big, and all that water came down off those hills, that range, Paluma Range, and swept through here, through this creek and a few other creeks. And the height of the water, you can see all these trees that are down. This is what it did. It just trashed the place, and that level was very, very high, almost touching that bridge. I think it was touching the bridge at some stage. But the interesting thing is the riverbed, or the creek bed, is all you can see is bedrock, because there was so much water come through here that it scoured it. It just swept everything, any mud, any sand, anything, yeah. There was nothing left. It's just bedrock all the way. It's quite amazing. I've never seen it like this before. I'd never seen it like this before. Usually it was silted with sand and mud and whatnot, and dirt. No, it was just bedrock. Yeah, there's a little bit of moss and crap growing there, but yeah, it's quite amazing to see. So there you go. Still haven't caught anything. Hello again. I'm buggered. I've had a big day. What I did was I had a look at one of Nick Harvey's loads that was using a powder other than a little gun, and the powder it's an Australian powder, AR2205. I think the equivalent is, well, I can't remember which one of the Hodgdon. Well, it is Hodgdon would sell it. I can't remember what it's called, but it's all. I think another equivalent is W296, Winchester 296. But so I had to go up that, and the result of that was that it was crap. To be blunt, yeah, the result wasn't good at all. It was, yeah, they were pretty big groups. Well, whether I'd have to play around with powder charge weight or whatever. I'm really not going to bother, because I had a go at the weather. The weather was really nice this time. It started off really calm. Like when I was driving there, I'm surprised I didn't have a head-on accident, because I'm just looking at the trees going, no wind, excellent, as I'm getting there. And it takes over an hour to get there, or about an hour. And when I got there, sure enough, it was really calm and still. As the morning progressed, it got windier and windier, but strangely enough, when the wind was of any strength, it was actually a headwind, which is bizarre, because if you've seen any of my other videos where you see footage of the range, there's a massive, it's not Mount Everest, but there's a big barrier to wind. So usually the wind is sideways, because you've got the flat land, and then you've got the ocean. So it's usually going side to hit somewhere further up, it hits those hills and just goes sideways. So that was a bit strange, having a headwind. Sorry about the sunnies again, but I've got the bright lights on because it's the afternoon and it's sort of, it's gotten a little bit dark. So that and I haven't, you know what? Really bad of me, forgetful. I actually forgot to put my my target away and retrieve the actual targets, so I can show you the groups, measure them and show you them. So I feel like a right idiot. Yeah, a dill. Comes with getting old, you just forget. Actually, quite a few people do that, because you just, especially if you're if you're packing up in the middle of a shoot, in between, if you're not packing up like right on a ceasefire, and you just even forget things out there. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Now, what was that? Damn. Oh yeah. So this was one of Nick Harvey's loads, and So I was using the Cellular and Bellow twice fired cases, using the 20 grain VMAX, 10 grains of AR2205, with an overall length of 1.72. And that didn't prove to be very good at all. I think they were like a couple of inches, easy, all over the place, not good at all. So I had a go at, I had a go again with, I shot the rest of, shot the rest of the, those 25 grain Hornady hollow point rounds that I made up, the 8.8 grains of little gun. They were actually all right. Yeah, they weren't too bad. Not impressive. They were all right. And I also shot off the, the 9 grains of little gun with the Hornady VMAXs. These two are Hornady brass. That was actually, that wasn't too bad. That was actually the best one. That was the best one. I was getting really tiny groups, like, yeah, again. So that's the load that I'm going to go with. Obviously not going to use, this was new Hornady brass, but I'm not going to use Hornady brass. I'm just going to scrap it, pretty much, because like when you're priming it, the difference in resistance really varies. You know, the resistance in getting that primer seated in that pocket is just all over the place. So yeah, but I didn't have any issues with it. Now, so it's 9 grains of little gun with the 20 grain VMAX. That is it. One of the things that I plan to do, and I haven't got it here, I haven't got one, is put a barrel tuner on it, because I think that one of the reasons it does this weird 2 pairs affair, 2 virtually in one hole or in one hole, and then 2 in another hole just beside it, or virtually in another hole just beside it, which is really bizarre, you know. I think there's a harmonics issue, and so what I'm going to do is, it's just a big, it's a, oh, what brand is it? It's Limb Saver. This is like a big rubber, yeah. You know those toys that you give to your dog to chew? Those big rubber toys? This looks like one of those things. Yeah, so I'm going to have a go at putting that on there, because there is some inconsistency, you know. There is really excellent accuracy, but just inconsistency. I also shot up a heap of the Super Performance Varmint, the Hornady 20 grain VMAXs. It's alright, you know, not too bad. And because I actually got my gun store to order 200 rounds of the Cellular and Bellow 20 grain VMAX rounds. Now, so I've been talking up the Cellular and Bellow brass, which is, yeah, you talk something up, and sure enough, it turns out that it's not that crash shot after all. The brass is good. Haven't had an issue with it up till now. Up till now. Now, the resistance when you're priming, the resistance with the primer pocket is virtually exactly the same. Like, I mean, there was only maybe, I primed, the 40 that I primed, of the stuff that I had before, I think I only noticed like 1 or 2 where the resistance was a little bit different, but not enough to actually count. So those primer pockets are very, very uniform, and the primers sit flush with the, with the head of the case. They're not all over the place like the Hornady. One thing I found I did have to do was that I had to just chamfer the primer pocket a little bit. Yeah. Not a lot, just a little bit. Now the celery and bellow, that was, it was average. It was alright. Nothing crash hot. Now, we're talking about the celery and bellow brass. So you're going to see a shot of this one case where there is a split of about 8mm, 9mm down the side of the case, which is, yeah, I've never experienced that before, like split like this. Yeah, it's really bizarre. So clearly this case, this S&B case, which is a factory ammo, there was obviously a defect when it was being formed, because there's, I can't give any other explanation for it, unless I cut the case open and just have a look inside what happened, which I might do. But yeah, so that one case failed. You know, I've got to tell you, I've never had so many ammunition dramas. You know, and I've got guns, I've got rifles in 22. I did have rifles, you know, barrels of 17 HMR and 22 Magnum. I've got 223, I've got 243, I've got 308, I've got 7mm Rem mag, I've got 4570, I've got 44 mag, I've got 458 Win mag. What else have I got? Have I missed anything? I don't know. And I reload or hand load for all of those, or have, and I've never experienced so much drama with any other caliber as I have with the 17 Hornet. It's just, look, it's been intriguing and interesting, but it is frustrating because you just beat your head up against the wall after a while and go, what do I have to do, you know? And I'm still, you know, usually it doesn't take that long to figure out a load and what's the most accurate load and what's best powder, and usually doesn't take that long, you know. But with this thing, just with the caliber in general, it is, and the fact that the Hornady primer pocket issue existed, you know, just totally threw me sideways, because here I was thinking that I was cooking up excessive loads when it was just the fact that the primer pockets were just so loose that the primer would pop out, you know. So that you know, Hornady, with their reputation, I didn't expect that at all. Like, you know, I just didn't really wasn't expecting that. So that's a lesson learnt there. It's not a learning, it's a lesson. Yeah, here's something for me to rant about. I hate it when people say learnings. There's no such word, alright? It's lessons. It's lessons. So the lesson there is, don't take anything for granted. Don't assume that a company with the reputation of Hornady for making, and their reputation is for making really outstanding ammunition, don't assume that the ammunition that you get from them is going to be outstanding or even any good, you know. So yeah, that's the lesson. But yeah, so that's about it. Oh, I just mentioned, because I'm really knackered, I'm relaxing, having a beer. This is one beer that I actually don't mind. It's take this glass off. It's Great Uncle Kenny's multi-purpose amazing Wakachangi lager. Circa 1640, established circa 1648. I don't think so. Yeah, it's a bit of a joke. Yeah, and there's a picture of a guy rescuing a damsel in distress, and he's using a spatula to what's it called? To fend off what looks like a rabid guinea pig. Yeah, quite funny. So they use this label as a gimmick, but it's actually, and it says quite nice beer, and it actually is. Yeah, it's better than your usual rubbish. So anyway, I've spoken. Oh yeah, the walkers are working fine. Yeah, excellent. Love them. Yeah, so that's about it. That's all I've got to report, and I'll see you later.